Last year marked the 60th anniversary of Tanzania-China bilateral ties. A lot was in the list, like to project how far the two nations had come. We are glad to have the Chinese ambassador to Tanzania, Madam Chen Mijian, will go into details, highlighting the key milestones that stand out. My name is Mary Kadoke. Madam Chen Mijian, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Ni hao.
谢谢.
We are glad to have you today. Well,
Thank
last
you.
year was the projection of the long-standing ties between the United Republic of Tanzania and the People's Republic of China. Now, and obviously, we had a series of events that had to commemorate the day. If I remember vividly, we had the Chinese naval ship or the PSAC visit in Tanzania,
Exactly.
in which thousands of Tanzanians had medical aid and. Additionally, we also had like the first PSAC baby for the first time in the country.
Yes.
Now, how do you describe the China-Tanzania relations, the head of state diplomacy, and the cooperations when it comes to the FOCAC summit?
Thank you for your question. You mentioned the latest development of our two countries' relationship. So when it comes to the recent development of China-Tanzania relations, we have to talk about our common past. The special relationship can date back to the leadership of the founding fathers of our two nations. We will never forget how Chairman Mao Zedong, Premier Zhou Enlai, and Tanzanian President Julius Nyerere Abide Karume nurtured our unbreakable traditional friendship with sincerity and good faith in the old days. From then on, China and Tanzania share a long-lasting, strong relationship built on mutual respect and mutual trust. No matter how the international situation changes, no matter what changes we face, and no matter what kind of disturbance and disruption we encounter, the traditional friendship between China and Tanzania has withstood the test of time and is getting stronger with time. When the time comes to the new era, as you mentioned just now, head of state diplomacy has made clear guidance to the relationship of our two countries. Chinese President Xi Jinping visited Tanzania right after assuming office. During his visit, President Xi put forth the sincerity, real results, amity, and good faith, and the principle of pursuing greater good and shared interests, which have since been the guiding principles of China's policy toward Africa. And President Samir Suluhu Hassan met with President Xi 3 times and visited China 2 times. Now, China has been the largest trading partner of Tanzania for 9 consecutive years, with the trade volume exceeding $8.88 billion last year. A number of Tanzania high-quality agricultural products, such as soybeans, sesame, avocados, were exported to China, boosting Tanzania's economy as well as accommodating Chinese consumers. China is also the largest source country of investment to Tanzania. Investments in projects such as Huaxin cement, Mawani limestone, the Kodak ceramics, and so on exceed $100 million respectively, creating thousands of job opportunities for locals, let alone the countless infrastructure projects constructed by Chinese enterprises, including SGR, Nyerere hydropower plant, and the newly completed JP Magufuli Bridge, etc. This year marks the 25th anniversary of the FOCAC. Recently, the ministerial meeting of coordinators on the implementation of the follow-up actions of the FOCAC was held in Changsha, China. The FOCAC members discussed strategies for further implementing the consensus reached by leaders and the outcomes of the 2024 Beijing summit. President Xi sent a congratulatory letter to the meeting. He emphasized that China remains committed to creating new opportunities for the world through the new achievements in Chinese modernization and providing new momentum for African and other Global South partners through China's big market. China is ready to work with African side to further implement the 10 partnership actions, strengthen cooperation in new areas such as green industries, e-commerce and payment, science, technology, and AI, deepen cooperation in such fields as security, finance, and the rule of law, and jointly promote high-quality development of China-African cooperation. Since the 2024 FOCAC Beijing Summit, China has provided funding of more than RMB 150 billion yuan, equivalent to $21 billion to Africa. Early outcomes of the follow-up actions have been achieved, containing 35 items in 10 categories. Tanzania has become one of the countries that have seen the most effective implementation of the outcomes of the summit. Tanzania delivered first batch of honey to China to use the zero tariff policy China granted to Tanzania. We are working hard to revitalize Tazara Railway, expecting more progress soon. China implemented the minimally invasive medicine program and shared techniques with Tanzania, which help open a new era of minimal invasion surgery in Africa. Positive progress has been made in the upgrade and expansion of Jikaya Kikwete Cardiac Institute and Junchao technological projects. China cooperated with the Institutional Fund for Agricultural Development on advancing agricultural projects in Tanzania through the use of satellite digital technology. I just named some. You can see through the joint efforts of the both sides, Tanzania is among the most beneficial countries from our cooperation.
Thank you. That's great. Now let's talk of the U.S. reciprocal tariff. Lesson 3, it has been destabilizing the global economy. Now, how is China positioning its trade strategies to ensure that its collaboration with the trading partners, including Tanzania, remains intact?
Mm-hmm. Well, the reciprocal tariffs by U.S. cast down the shadow on world economy and brought great uncertainties to normal international economic and trade activities. African countries, I should say, are more vulnerable. Some Tanzania economic analysts warned that soybeans, coffee, textile, cashew nuts, cocoa beans, etc., those of the Tanzania's primary exports to US will suffer, definitely, which may result in job losses or economic recession. And China's position on tariff is very clear. There are no winners in trade war or tariff war. Protectionism hurts everyone's interests, including US itself. China and the US are the two largest economies in the world. Sound and steady China-US trade ties bear on the well-being of both peoples and global development and prosperity. As the largest developing country and an open, honest, and responsible major country, China has stepped forward at this critical juncture, adopting resolute countermeasures while proactively working with other nations across multilateral platforms to uphold justice. This stance serves not only to defend China's legitimate development rights, but also to shield the shared interests of the international community, especially small and medium-sized states, to safeguard global fairness and justice. Now you can see China and US held trade talks and reached framework of agreement. Especially at this moment, China would like to cooperate closer and more with Africa. China granted zero tariff to 100% tariff line products to Africa. I believe through our joint efforts, we can achieve common development together.
Thank you very much. Now, at present, the international landscape is complicated and volatile. Now, how is China and Tanzania collaborating together to ensure that they solve or they curb the global risk and challenges?
Yeah, you mentioned the risks and the challenges. There are a lot, especially at this moment. The world is marked by turbulence and complexity, and globalization faces headwinds with unilateralism, protectionism on the rise. China and Tanzania should strengthen unity and cooperation to jointly address the risks and challenges. We have some suggestions. First, we should deepen political mutual trust. China and Tanzania have always shared similar views, taken common positions, and supported each other at the international arena. In the new era, guided by head of state diplomacy and the common need to implement the FOCAC summit outcomes, we continue to support each other on issues concerning core interests and major concerns. And second, we should strengthen practical cooperation. China commends Tanzania's new foreign policy for its emphasis on economic diplomacy and supports Tanzania to foster new growth areas such as the digital economy, green development, and blue economy sector under the 10 partnership actions put forward by President Xi Jinping. The two sides will work together to create more stories about China-Tanzania cooperation for high-quality development and send a strong message of solidarity and collaboration among members of Global South. Third, we should uphold multilateralism. Open cooperation is the trend of history, and mutual benefits and win-win outcomes are the aspiration of people worldwide. President Xi Jinping has proposed the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, and the Global Civilization Initiative. And at the Central Conference on Work related to neighboring countries in April this year, China emphasized that it will continue to uphold the vision of a community with a shared future for mankind. With the high-quality construction of the Belt and Road Initiative as the main platform, China will work together with other like-minded countries to create a brighter future.
Thank you very much. In recent years, Tanzania has attracted more Chinese tourists in the country.
Yes.
I think with the last year's data, we had 54,444 tourists in the country. And on the other hand, too, we also have Tanzanian youth learning to speak Chinese language. Now, how do you think the people-to-people exchange can help enhance bilateral relationships?
Yes, and the amity, we have seen the amity between the peoples holds the key to state-to-state relations. Despite the vast geographical distance between China and Tanzania, people-to-people exchanges have fostered mutual learning, brought both countries closer together, and yielded fruitful results. Last year, two countries' mutual visits and promotion achieved positive outcomes. According to the latest data from Tanzania, the number of Chinese tourists visiting Tanzania reached more than 70,000, setting a new record, a big jump you can see from the previous years. And Chinese medical teams dispatched to the mainland Tanzania and Zanzibar have treated more than 20 million patients, and their stories were adapted into a TV drama, Welcome to Milala Village, which resonated deeply with audience in both China and Tanzania. An increasing number of Tanzanian youths are learning Chinese now, with the Confucius Institutes at the University of Dar es Salaam and the University of Dodoma witnessing the steady rise in enrollment. The launch of the direct flights between China and Tanzania has further facilitated bilateral contacts. People-to-people exchanges will provide rich cultural nourishment and the strong spiritual momentum for China-Tanzania relations. Next year is China-African Year of People-to-People Exchanges. President Xi Jinping pointed out the foundation and lifeline of China-African relations lie with the people. Therefore, the development of our relations should be more people-oriented. Our two sides will host a series of people-to-people exchange activities under the theme of Consolidate All-Weather Friendship, Pursue Shared Dream of Modernization. We hope the celebration will further consolidate public support for our elevating friendship.
Now, could you kindly share your most memorable experience at the Chinese Embassy in Tanzania? Any aspirations for the future China-Tanzania relations?
And Tanzania is a country with beautiful scenery. I've been to more than 20 regions over the past almost 4 years in my capacity as the ambassador, and learned something new from each and every trip when I visit the different region. I have a lot of memorable experience in Tanzania, a lot actually. So I just want to share, to select two of those memorable experience. The first is Her Excellency President Samia Suluhu Hassan's visit to China last year. I had the honor to accompany her throughout the trip. The 2024 FOCAC Beijing Summit was a grand gathering of the world's largest developing country and the continent with the largest number of developing countries, as well as the biggest diplomatic event with highest attendance of foreign leaders ever held by China in recent years. At the summit, President Xi Jinping met with President Samia. His Excellency Xi proposed 10 partnership actions that China and Africa can pursue together for the next 3 years to come. And Her Excellency Samia expounded her idea of way to modernization. You can see at the highest level, the leaders of our two countries plan with thoughtful vision for the future of our two countries through cooperation. And the second is the hospitality of Tanzanian people. I often was greeted with "ni hao" by strangers with smiling face. Once my colleagues and I waited at the red traffic signal to cross the crossroad. A police officer came to help us to pass safely. And all this makes me feel I'm truly at home, recognized and helped by my brothers and sisters.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for taking your time to speak to the Guardian newspaper and the Guardian Digital. We actually appreciate your willingness and your insights on various aspects. It has actually been a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your interview and good wishes to Guardian blog, newspaper, and digital version, and good wishes to all the audience of and the readers of Guardian.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That marks the end of our today's interview session. Thank you for linking with us with the Guardian newspaper plus the Guardian Digital. Have a nice day. Thank you.